everyone, and welcome to Game 2 between DDay and AlphaPancake. Spawning in our upper left-hand corner on Ohana LE. Our victor from the last game, AlphaPancake. Alright. Spawning down in our lower right-hand corner. Looking for a comeback game in this best of 3 series, it's DDay. Alright, pew pew pew, pew pew. Less QQ and more pew pew. I don't think people would say that on the forum nearly as often if it didn't rhyme. If we've learned anything from last game, it's that economy, you live or die. Because AlphaPancake was able to take out quite a few drones early in the game and gain a substantial economic lead, which he used to eventually steamroll DDay. We'll see how this game plays out. DDay went for an early gas last time so that he could get his speedling upgrade right away. But AlphaPancake wasn't too much farther behind, so that extra time, those few extra seconds he had speed, he wasn't able to do anything with it. Now, if he had been able to use those speedlings to run past defenses and kill some drones or something, then maybe that would have been worth it, but that early gas investment just didn't pay off, and it looks like DDay has learned his lesson. He's going hatchery first, not even a spawning pool. AlphaPancake has started a spawning pool, although interestingly enough, it's not in the typical position you see it behind the mineral line, but that's okay. Which really it's quite strange because the mineral line is where most of your drones are. So not only is it better protected, but it's also closer to where your drones already are. You don't have to wait for them to move as far. Overlord scouts going across the map. Expo at the natural going down for AlphaPancake around the 3-minute mark. A little later than DDay's. Spawning pool now coming in for DDay. So a little bit flip-flopped here. DDay went hatch first and then spawning pool, whereas Pancake went spawning pool first and then hatchery. You know, sometimes you watch a series and one player wins and you think, man, you just know that player is going to win. Even if they lose a map, you just know, hey, this guy's better, he's going to take it. I don't know here. You know, it was just a bad break for DDay, I feel. I don't think he played that badly. He just lost those drones. It was really just it was really an economic loss at the end of the day. And assuming nothing like that happens, or maybe even if DDay manages to, you know, do the same thing, if he manages to kill off drones or, you know, get an early whack at killing off a third or something, then, you know, it could be that he wins due to an economic lead. So we just don't know. No way to tell. Zerglings from AlphaPancake coming in here on this natural. He's putting up a spine crawler. It's a little late for that. Not really enough Zerglings, but he does have enough to chase these Zerglings out, which is going to save that spine crawler because it was really low on health. If he had waited any longer, it would have died. So barely able to fend off that attack from AlphaPancake. He now has a spine crawler up in his main. He has a spine crawler in his natural. So that's going to help him fend off the next attack. But I feel like AlphaPancake is probably going to wait. He knows that spine crawler's there. He knows DDay has some Zerglings. Speed on the way from AlphaPancake. DDay, on the other hand, is going Roach. So we have one Roach in production now. Probably see some more. Could be defensive, but probably not. Probably going to see a transition to Roaches, an early transition to Roaches, I should say. But we'll see. There's our lone Roach here. Oh, Baneling Nest going in for AlphaPancake. This could be huge. So we're definitely going to see slings and blings. All kinds of variation on Ling. You got your Ling, you got your Speedling, you got your Baneling. That's what they should have done for Legacy of the Void. They should have introduced a new Zergling type. So we can have a third, fourth option there. Few Zerglings moving out from DDay, not really sure where they're going or what they're planning. But maybe they're just looking to try and scout out a third, or... I actually honestly have no idea what he's thinking. That was a pretty foolish attack. He must have been A-moving those, because there's no reason why you would attack that queen. He had to have known that those Zerglings couldn't kill that queen, and yet he did it anyway. So they must have been on an attack move. Not a lot of units to spare. So losing those, not the end of the world, but not a great call. Queen, is he going to be able to pick off this Overlord? Yes. So, congratulations, Queen. You have a higher kill count than most of the army units. Zergling's going to take out this rock from AlphaPancake. I guess he just wants easier access to defend this third that he's putting down. Still no third for DDay. 8:30 mark. Is this, what is this? Another spine crawler? 2 more spine crawlers. DDay is really nervous, I think, after the last game. He really wants to just defend. I think he's worried that a big attack is going to come, and he's not going to be able to defend it. Zergling, small Zergling attack force moving in here from DDay, going to find that third. Of course, those rocks haven't been taken down yet, but AlphaPancake has speed and DDay doesn't. So those Zerglings get cleaned up pretty quickly. No threat to this third right here. Third finally coming down from DDay. Not really sure. Excuse me. Not really sure what his plans are. It seems more clear to me what AlphaPancake. He's getting upgrades. He's getting roaches. Although he did get the Baneling nests, he's not really using them though. Does he even have any Banelings? He has no Banelings. So maybe he thought he was going to go Baneling and then changed his mind. We'll see. Spire for DDay. Researching flyer attack level 1, so probably going to see a transition into Mutas like last game. Mutas coming in here, taking out that Overlord. It was already low on health, but Overseer moving in, gonna scout out his opponent, see what's going on. Oh, I'm sorry, that's actually AlphaPancake's. Stupid. Oh, I can't see colors today. These Mutas are moving out. I don't think AlphaPancake really has anything to deal with this. Gonna take out another Overlord. AlphaPancake supply blocked. Supplies are pretty close, but he's not gonna be able to make any more units. I guess some Overlords just came back online. We're gonna see what these Mutas can do. I'm guessing they're gonna come in here and try and attack this third. We got a ground units moving in here. Zerglings, of course, they're regular Zerglings. They're not Speedlings. There's no way they're going to be able to do anything against these roaches and this queen. I thought maybe they were a diversion so that the Mutas could get in there and attack the third, but the Mutas were just sitting there. He's going to take out this Overseer. We do have a Spore here. There's probably some more. Let's see. We have more Spores. There's definitely going to be Spores now. We have one in the main. One in the natural, and one in the third, so it's going to be difficult for him to move these Mutas in unless he gets a higher count here. So what do we have here? 5, 6, 7, 8 Mutas. I don't think that's going to do it. Hydra's on the way for AlphaPancake. So that should help out against the Mutas. We have a nice little Speedling army from AlphaPancake coming down here to attack the third of DDay, and it looks like they will be defeated. Speed finally researched for DDay. He finally has his own Speedlings. He's going to take out these rocks so he can easily defend his third. Did AlphaPancake? Yeah, okay, AlphaPancake did destroy his own rocks. I know he started earlier and he didn't finish it. Nice creep spread from AlphaPancake. Terrific creep spread from AlphaPancake. No such creep spread for DDay. I mean, he has a few creep tumors, but his third is not connected to his natural. I look at his main. His main's not even connected to his natural. Almost virtually no creep tumors whatsoever. Nice sized army built up here by AlphaPancake. Supply lead firmly now, 127 to 102. Let's just look at the units here. It's basically Hydra Roach versus Ling Muta. AlphaPancake, 9 Hydras. That's going to be very good against these Mutas. Not enough. He's got some Roaches, 15 Roaches, 67 drones to 50. Zergling count very low, only 6 Zerglings. That's not really the composition he's going for, though. Compare that to 16 Mutas and 35 Speedlings. I don't have high hopes for DDay. The element of surprise has already been lost. He already has spores up at all of his bases, so it's not like he's going to be able to fly in and take out a lot of drones or anything. More upgrades on the way. More Mutas being morphed in here for DDay. More Zerglings being brought in by AlphaPancake. Maybe he's finally going to go get the Banelings. But we see Banelings coming in for DDay. Another Expo. 2 more Expos. We see a 4th and a 5th coming up from AlphaPancake. He has some Lings, a Ling run by, probably. Maybe he's going to morph these into Banelings. Maybe he's looking for a 4th. I don't know. Main engagement going on over here. More exciting. Let's check this out. Hydras versus Mutalisks. Way too many Mutalisks. But he does retreat. Those Hydras are tough. Or should I say they're strong. They're not particularly tough. A lot of people complain that the Hydra does not seem to have enough hit points. This Ling hit squad down here coming in on the 3rd from DDay. But these Mutalisks are very quick. They make it across the map and clean that up. More Spine Crawlers coming in to defend. He's got some Banelings in that group. It's basically reduced to Banelings and Mutas at this point. More Lings being brought in on both sides. More Mutas. More upgrades. Is that 3 hatcheries? 4 hatcheries for AlphaPancake? What is going on here? Where are all these? It must be... Okay, we have 2 macro hatches for AlphaPancake. Huge army moving out here. This could be the decisive battle right here. Roach Hydra versus Mutalisk, basically. I don't know what happened to those Banelings, but they couldn't have done much damage. Moving in on DDay's natural, and another attack coming down here on the 3rd. Zergling's going to pick off these Spine Crawlers. The main army from AlphaPancake wreaking absolute mayhem on this natural. The Mutas do repel, but not before he was able to get some nice damage done. This huge Zergling army is going to take out this hatchery. It's not going to survive. DDay losing his 3rd. That's very, very important. DDay almost mined out in his main. He has a decent amount left in his natural, but without that hatchery, his income must have plummeted. Supply count is even more out of whack than it was before. Let's just take a look at income. AlphaPancake commanding a firm lead. Almost 800 more minerals than DDay. That's really got to hurt. That's a lot of Lings you can make with all that extra income, especially since he has these macro hatches here to support it. We saw what one Zergling hit squad could do, took out that 3rd. Muta's coming up here for DDay, going to take out this 4th or 5th if you prefer, but I'm not sure how much he really needed it. He needed it maybe later on to transition to, but taking out that 4th was not nearly as much of a victory as AlphaPancake taking out that 3rd. That 3rd really, really hurt. I really think taking out that 3rd just secured the victory, nail in the coffin. Creep spread continuing to get larger and larger. Pretty soon he's going to have half the map. These Mutas are fast, but he's going to be able to see them coming. He has huge vision. Mutas coming in here to the 5th, or 4th now, since he destroyed the other hatchery. They are going to be not repelled. He has way too many Mutas to be repelled, but he does have a Spore to deal with. He did have a Queen to deal with. 3 Spores, actually. Hydra's coming in to defend. He doesn't want to lose this hatchery. Macro hatches are nice, but you also want the resources as well. A lot of these mutas are being lost, and you know what? DDay simply does not have the economy to remake this muta army. He has to make these mutas count. These mutas have to get the job done. We see some infestors in the mix here. Fungals, a couple of well-placed fungals could be absolutely the end of the game. I mean, he gets a couple of fungals off on these mutas, it's all over. I mean, he's trying to build a third down here. But what can he do? His old third location still, these lings, he still has lings down here. He still hasn't managed to defend this location. AlphaPancake is firmly on top of it, trying to morph in some banelings. Mutas catch him here. We got Burrow coming in from AlphaPancake. Ultralisks. We have 3 Ultralisks on the way from DDay. I don't know what those are going to be able to do. DDay reestablishing his third. The fourth hasn't been touched yet. But we do see lings coming in. He obviously knew that DDay must be trying to take this location. And these lings are going to get fended off. Those mutas are on their way over. Oh, excuse me, lings. Huge ling army. Could have sent the mutas, but the lings will get there faster. So this little attack will be repelled, but now AlphaPancake knows that this expo is here, if he didn't already. These Ultralisks are going to be very hard to deal with, but those Zerglings should have seen the Ultralisks before they died, so AlphaPancake knows he has them now, so he can prepare accordingly. When you tech switch, the element of surprise is very important, because your opponent needs to, if your opponent doesn't have the right unit composition to counter your tech, that is what you want, right? When you tech up, you want to be able to attack and have that be as effective as possible, but if your opponent sees it before you can attack, then they can build the counter. There's a lot of rock, paper, scissors in Starcraft 2. So revealing those ultras, which he didn't even need to repel his attack, was probably a mistake, but I can imagine after losing his third and after being basically behind in this game, he must have just been at panic mode, send everything. Large infestor Hydra army, few roaches in there, Zerglings, Ultras, Mutas. This could be it. This is probably the decisive battle right here. These Ultras are not going to make it. They're going to be focused down. Muta count, almost nothing. We should be seeing GG anytime now. AlphaPancake remaxes. Yeah, gave it the good college try. GG. I think that AlphaPancake just outplayed his opponent a little bit here, but you know what? That's okay. It was still a fun game to watch. A great ZVZ, so thank you, AlphaPancake. Thank you, DDay.